Yeah.
Welcome to the show, beautiful.
Thank you.
Such a gorgeous face.
What can you do, right?
Dare
It's
say
not
I have
my-
a beautiful body as well, which I saw in Lost Angels.
Oh my God.
Lucky me. Hey, I got to tell you something. I wasn't always fat and bald. I used to be...
Happened in the last 4 days.
You know, I love this show, audience. I love two things. I love this show and I love you for watching.
Maybe that means us. When he says you, it's
I'm
like a
gonna
big
add-
general thing.
If I can get to this intro without Mark jumping me, I'm going to add two more things to that list. I love Mark Giordino for being here. He's my co-host this week, writer, producer, director. And the beautiful... The beauty.
I know you know how to pronounce
Now you know
my
why I
name.
do that. Eugenia, Kuzmina. Was I even close?
You're Russian, basically. We're
That's
like
what done,
one
yeah.
blood.
There
Yeah.
you go. I got a little something for you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, beautiful.
Thank you.
Such a gorgeous face.
What can you do, right?
Dare
It's
say
not
I have
my-
a beautiful body as well, which I saw in Lost Angels.
Oh my God.
Lucky me. Hey, I got to tell you something. I wasn't always fat and bald. I used to be...
Happened in the last 4 days.
That happened it happened in the last 10 years. I got
10
married, I got happy, and I settled in, man. That's it. I'm the way I am.
You
know
still look good.
You know what I am?
I'm the way
Doesn't
I
he
am.
look
you know,
good?
You know what I am?
What do you want?
You ever see a caterpillar crawl into a little web and web itself up and it's sitting in there in a cocoon? I'm in my cocoon stage. Soon I'm going to break out of this shell. I'm going to sprout some big blue and gold wings with little black spots, and I'm going to fly over there and kiss you on the nose.
Well,
That's what
I
I'm gonna
saw your
do.
show, and by the way you talk, it's very free, and I think
It
you're
is
the
very
one
free.
who's flying already.
I'm
can
kind
say.
of flying. I'm a little bit in the cocoon right now. But yeah, it's a good show. We talk about everything, and I don't think there's anything you shouldn't be able to say, and I don't think you should back away from your statements once you make them.
I agree.
That's what it
Let's
is.
talk the truth.
Let's speak our truth, because our truth is probably a lie to someone else, but it's all we know, so we stick to it.
I agree.
You're from Russia.
Yes, Siberia.
I love Russia.
I like how you say that.
I love it.
Very primal.
I'm going to say it in Spanish, how much I love it. Te quiero mucho, Siberia.
Yeah, we're
I
all
love it.
connected in some way.
We are connected. You know what connects me to Siberia?
What?
The thought that there's something big, vast, expansive, and it generates and creates beauty.
Interesting. You make me think for a second.
I make everybody think. That's my problem. I should just make them act. That'd be okay. Why'd you come to America?
Life brought
I'm
me
actually
here.
talking to Mark. Sorry.
I actually lived
Why
there.
did you come to America?
No, I actually lived
You
there.
Russian too?
No, I'm not Russian, but I lived there for 4 years.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
where?
I can't remember.
You drank that
He
much
was
vodka? Was it
drinking.
the women who make
He
you
was
forget?
drinking.
Well, you know, there have been a woman or two that made me forget in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you
Yeah.
know, the
Yeah.
guys are pretty tough there.
Why'd you come to America?
You know, it's interesting because...
And by the way, I love your voice.
Oh, thank you.
You have a brilliant voice, and your diction and alliteration is magnificent.
Thank you so
I
much.
love it.
Thank you. That's a very
I would
sweet-
hire you just for your voice. You could put a bag on your head, right, and a clown suit, and come in reading for the part of a beautiful girl, and I'd hire you just on your voice.
Oh my God, the cliche. Here you
And
go.
then after you took the bag off and the clown suit off,
I'd be
you'd be in a series of films.
Yeah.
So
you know.
why don't we find out why she came here?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I actually left home when I was 14, you know, by myself. My dad was a
Why?
scientist, and we traveled all over. I grew up in Siberia in this small town where they have special passports to enter. And I just needed to get out, you know. I wanted to see the world, and I got out and I went to model in Paris.
At 14?
Yes, at 14.
Wow.
They, that was incredible.
Pretty daring.
It
Mark
is.
began modeling, but not until he was 16.
Yeah.
I know.
And that was in Fresno.
And in a closet.
Yeah.
It was my competition, in the
Yeah,
closet.
right.
So you go to Paris at 14. What was that like?
It was incredible. It was mind-blowing. The Russian girls just started to come out, and I was the biggest nerd ever. I would never go to
I
clubs.
find that very difficult to believe.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true,
I don't know too many nerds that'll leave home at 14.
Yeah, I don't know too many. Yeah.
You've got to be
a
pretty
rebel
strong.
nerd.
A rebel
nerd.
nerd. Eugenia Kuzmina in Lost Angels from Stan Harrington.
It's a dream factory here. You can get whatever you want if you play the game right.
Ain't that the way?
It's a studio pick. They're not going to hire a nobody.
It's important to me. It should be important to you. What it takes to love you.
You can love someone and not want to be with them.
That's not you talking.
Hey, welcome back to the show. You know what's cool about this program? You meet people from all over. I mean, the thought of it, someone gave me a tagline for this show. Stan Harrington, as a matter of fact, in a conversation a while back, he said, this show allows you to meet them before they become stars. And I thought, what a great tagline and what a great focus of a show to bring people who are on their way up out into the world. And I'm glad you're here.
I think we're all on the way up, I don't think there's way down. I think we're just in different
You
places.
never met my second ex-wife. You're definitely on your way down. Trust me. Good for you, honey. Yeah. And I do hold grudges.
I love relationships. I've been married 2 times. It's my
Two
second
times?
one. Yes.
What happened to the first one? See, this is what I like.
He disappeared.
I get a lot of disappearances on this show. A lot of people disappearing, going places. Where do you go?
It just didn't work out. I was 18 and,
So
I
you're a
was-
baby.
Yeah, I was a baby. And
You were
I
a
don't
pretty
think-
baby with blonde hair and blue eyes, and
How long did Dad last?
6 months.
Long time.
that's too long.
If it's not going well, it's a long time.
That's a, yeah.
Next time I'll marry you.
When did you know? When did you know it was going wrong?
Pretty much from the beginning,
Wow.
I think you come from Russia and you have certain stereotypes or the way they brought you up, even in our films, they show you how you have to be rather than just experience yourself.
Well, it's a lot more direct.
In America?
And Russians are a lot more direct.
I think Americans are really direct.
No, Americans are rude.
Well,
There's a big difference. We're obnoxious, we're arrogant, and we're rude. And there's a reason for that. There's a very good reason for that. Because we can be. See, the thing is, when you can throw away half your food and not care, when you can drive a car that seats 8 people and it's just you, it makes you arrogant.
Or it makes you without friends, one or the other.
Well, you're right.
No, but I know what you're saying.
But it puts you in, and I know that people come here. I had a guest here for a stay, and I took her up to the observatory. And so I see a woman of Asian descent, and she had a little plastic bag. And she reaches her hand into a garbage can, had a shell on it, but she couldn't read English. And she was looking for cans and bottles to put in her bag to trade in for cash. But on the side of the can, it said cigarettes only. And so she reached her hand to a trash can full of dirty cigarette butts and ashes.
oh my God.
And she pulled her hand out, and I went, wow, you're not from America. Right? Because, well, 1, she didn't read, and 2, she had, I guess,
well, I think,
was struggling. But
every society has their own problems. I remember in Russia, everybody was kind of corrupted too, and we're people, let's face it.
tell me, what do you mean by corrupted?
Well,
Because all the Russians I know, I'm scared of.
You're putting me on the spot
No,
here.
because
I noticed the fear you have of her right now.
Yeah, I do. Listen, I'm watching you. You can't get behind me.
Well, the ego gets in the way. We're all people, and sometimes when you think I want more and more and more. Greed and ego,
Right.
it's the big stimulant to, to kind of push everybody out of the way and be close-minded. And I think it's present in anywhere you live, any society.
Not anywhere. Because you
think
go
so?
to some countries that's kind of, like in China, for instance, in Hong Kong. I was in Hong Kong. The people who are doing business are kind of, they're go-getters. A friend of mine called them, while we were there, he called them godless capitalists because they don't have rules. But the people who are working in the restaurants and the hotels and all the rest of it, they were just sitting there hoping not to get shot, in kind of a desperate situation. Talk to me about Russia. Talk to me about why you left and if you're going to go back.
I don't really feel connected right now,
I
to
love that
go
answer.
back.
Yeah.
I love America. I love America. I mean, this country has a lot of, different shades. It's great. It's not black and white. There are good things. There are bad things.
Right.
But I love that you can follow things here. I don't feel the same way in Russia. In Russia, women, they can't do anything. You have to marry, have
I
kids.
hear that. I heard that a lot, and that they're very much held down and held back,
yeah.
and there's nothing moving them forward except for whatever their husband tells them.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Oh yeah, completely. I mean, there are like 5 mistresses who come to the bed, and the wife, and then all the kids. It's interesting.
5 mistresses?
Well, usually that's like the least.
I gotta get to Russia. I'm in the wrong
Can
place.
someone call and give me an airline reservation
The nature comes
while I
out.
still have time?
Yes.
I want to hear about her second husband now.
All right, who's the
What
second?
happened to the second guy?
Oh, he's
Is he around
amazing.
now?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you're still married to
Oh
the
no,
second guy.
I love him so much. It's real love,
I like him too, but let's talk about him.
We met in New York, and he's a really creative person, and I just felt that we weren't kind of looking into each other, but rather going the same way. And that's the reason why I moved to Los Angeles, because I had a baby here. We have 3 kids now. So
You got
it's
3
great.
kids?
Yeah. I
With
have
that
1
body?
son, and yeah, it happens,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's why my second ex-wife is my second ex-wife. Because she got fat, but she didn't have any
Don't
kids.
judge women. We're all I think
Maybe
there's
she was
some-
in a cocoon, about to come out with that caterpillar
Yeah.
and fly.
I mean, she was eating the caterpillar.
Yeah, well.
I shouldn't have said that. She wasn't fat. She was really fat. I don't want to lie. We'll be right back.
After only 2 weeks of battling this antibiotic-resistant strain of plague, the CDC and local health officials have already declared this the first official pandemic since the 1918 flu. With over half the city dead and more succumbing every day, the future seems as uncertain and unattainable as finding a cure for this devastating disease.
Find everybody she's had contact in here now.
You can't do a mass quarantine, Tom. What if they're clean?
Marburg, Ebola, hemorrhagic fever. They're all a joke.
Were you exposed?
No.
I lied to you. I don't want to die here alone.
Audience, I love this show. I only love 3 things. Chocolate sundaes, poodles when they're shaved right, and this show. Thanks for sharing. Hey, send me what you love. Go to Del Weston on Film and tell me who you want to see on this show. And I don't want you to say another host, all right? Because that's just stupid, because I ain't going anywhere.
I like how direct you are.
I'm very direct. That's one of my problems, and that's what's held me back in my career. Because early on, I met a lot of really great people, and I could have done a lot of great things, but I didn't want to kowtow to anyone. I wanted to run it my own way. I wanted to produce my own shows. I wanted to do my own processes. And to some degree, I've made that possible with my festival and some of the films I've made, my TV shows. But to other areas, it held me back. It's sometimes you just need to smile and go along to get along, but I find that very difficult to do. How do European women reconcile doing nudity in films versus not? No, there's nothing wrong to it. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. But is there a different aesthetic to beauty and using nudity as opposed to not, from America to European countries?
Well, I think this country is so into controversial things. There's so much religion, but at the same time there's Playboy and things like that. But in Europe, if it's the right message, I think it's right to do for the film. If it's just for the exposure, for somebody to get high on that, then I don't think it's right.
Right.
So, if it goes with the story.
As long as it's in context, it's good to do.
Yeah, I would never do it just for somebody to, kind of to expose it. And
right.
I feel
because
maybe women feel
the gawker stare.
The gawker stare. We wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and
What's next for you in Hollywood?
What
do you want to do?
Fading Giigolo with John Turturro and Woody Allen that's coming out.
Fading Giigolo with John Turturro and Woody Allen.
And Sofia Vergara and Sharon Stone, so it's fun.
How is Sharon Stone?
Oh, she's amazing. Such an incredible person, really genuine.
Anyone who gives their husband an animal that bites his toe off, I'm not so sure about.
Translation?
No, she gave her husband a pet, and the thing ate part of his foot off.
Well, women are like that. We're uncontrollable sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're just different.
How did you get that role?
I met John Turturro and I read the script.
He's good.
He is amazing.
I watched him the other night in a film called The Luhan's Defense. It's a film about chess. I really like his performances across the board. Barton Fink, so many other great films. My favorite John Turturro film is Miller's Crossing.
Oh, yeah.
What a great film.
Yeah, he's incredible.
He is incredible.
He's incredible.
Not a good-looking guy, but an incredible...
He is good-looking.
No, he's not.
He is.
Listen, Brad Pitt's good-looking. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, Rock Hudson was good-looking. John Turturro, not so much. But talented as they get. Why'd you go quiet all of a sudden?
Well, I was trying to figure out who else was going to be good looking.
I'm just throwing stuff out.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the names.
Come on.
Yeah, so, I called him and I begged to get the part. I basically, said that I want to be in this movie, and he didn't want to do it first, but I felt that I wanted to be part of that project.
How do you do that? How do you just call someone and say, I want this, I want this?
You have to put your heart in that, and you have to, you have to feel that you can give something to that project, and you have to really believe and speak from that. And I think that's what I think it is all about,
I got to tell you, you were hot when I first saw you, but you've gotten hotter since you've been sitting here. Is that possible?
Coming from me.
Is it coming from Mark? Is it leaking over? Mark's like
it's radiating.
It's like a toxic spill over there.
That's right.
I got two good-looking people.
Well, I can say the same to you guys.
Yeah, you could, but you won't, and I believe you. Trust me, you don't need to. The reason I bring that up is, do you think people who are more attractive get better breaks in life?
Oh, no, trust me. It's so hard to get a break for anyone because we all get a cliche, like I have a cliche about you from the 5 seconds I meet you, right? But
it's a good cliche.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what that cliche is. 1, you'd be safe with me. 2, you wouldn't worry about anything. And 3, you'd be adored from moment 1 to moment 100. Is that true? Did I hit it? Was I close?
Yeah, there is something to
Are your
that.
children young?
They're young.
I want to hold them.
Oh my God.
I want to rock them. I love babies.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're incredible.
He has 2 amazing children.
I got 2
How old are they?
kids, 6 and 7.
Oh, okay. You're getting there.
Yeah. I want to tell you something that I want you to react to it. I worked with a Russian girl for a while, and she asked me for a favor that I could not do for her. I told her, I can't do it. I really cannot do it. And she kept, and finally I said, hey. And I said, you got to have a little pride. And she said, where what I need comes into play, there is no room for my pride.
That's a good saying.
I thought it was a real Russian sentiment. And it hurt
Russian cinnamon?
He was standing on her foot.
Are you serious? Okay.
We'll be right back. That's good.
Oh my God.
I was going to say something in Russian, but I didn't want to freak you out.
I want you to freak me out.
Oh, God, if I had $1 for every time I heard that, I'd be rich. Talk to me about being on a big production set.
It's, you know, I don't look at this way. You know, I always see people there, and there are different dynamics, and I never look at this way.
Why? Because I know that I'm going to break that phone.
Oh, it's my phone.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's he doing over there?
All this time.
I thought it was Stan's.
You got it, each other.
The guy comes in as a co-host, takes over
it
the
was
show.
Stan's phone. I'm thinking
When I on a big set, on a big film.
Yeah, it threw him off.
I used to do work with someone at Paramount. So I go to Paramount about once a week, and they let me into the studio. I got to tell you, there's something magical about going to those studios. It's beautiful. You're ensconced in wealth. It's well maintained. They're secure. You got to feel kind of special.
I think the old glamour, you know.
The glamour is there. You know, I think that's important. What do you think?
Well, I think it is special. And when I first started, when I was working on studios all the time, whatever.
Right.
And I always used to hear, well, the business isn't what it used to be, you know. And then I'd hear how it was 25 years before that, and they said someday you'll say the business isn't like it used to be, and it is. But I think the presence of doing a small film is that everybody still is on the upswing for the most part, and that they're all willing to roll up their sleeves all the way and really dig into the trenches to try to accomplish something. And it's not so much being on that big studio, it's being in that arena. And I think that's gets lost a little bit when you get up there. I think certain things sometimes don't mesh as well. The beauty of the small film is everybody is still has 100% of the passion and heart still involved. And in that way, I think they're more special.
That's very, very true, actually, I have to say.
Yeah.
Very good notice on that. I agree on that.
I got to be honest. I saw your profile and forgot everything else but to look at you. I love beauty. Beauty takes my breath away. And I fear that if I spent more than 5 minutes with you, I'd probably suffocate and die. That's a true statement. When everything I say is true, including this. We'll be right back.
It's a comedy show.
It's not a comedy show, it's a fact. We're coming back. We're back on the show with Eugenia Kuzmina, who starred in Stan Harrington's Los Angeles. And I want to talk to you about what it was like working with Stan.
You were working with him?
No, you were.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't in the movie.
Stan was on that
He's
film.
the director. Tell me what it was like working with Stan Harrington.
It was amazing. It was one of the first films I've done, and I remember meeting Stan. You know, I came in and we just had a talk, and he said, this is the script, you know, like, you're not right for the role. It's a girl from Iowa. It's a completely different thing, but just tell me what you think. And then we started talking about the story, and I can see how passionate he was about what he does, and he was real 100%, you know.
Yeah, he
was
is. Yeah.
all about what he believed, and I could really see his value, and it was just such a great story. And I was so lucky and so fortunate that he let me be the part of this project. I was really lucky to be on the set, and just that he, you know, believed that I can do something for that story.
What do you want to do ultimately? What's your goal, your dream?
I love doing comedy. I do stand up, I love doing comedy, but I like to be part of, you know, people's projects and stories. I love to tell stories and share things and just be...
See, I'm amazed you didn't say, I'd like to win an Academy Award. I want to, because so many people have these things that they come in here with. I want to do this and that, and I listen to them and I go, wow. And it's such a refreshing answer you just gave.
Are you serious?
How
I don't
happy
believe
your
it.
husband must be.
Yes.
How happy he must be.
He's happy.
Any parting shots, Mr. Giordino?
Well, I'm happy just being here.
That's it.
That's it.
Mark's happy. My special guest today, Eugenia Kuzmina. Oh,
Kuzmina.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Which I
Very
love
good.
saying. Eugenia Kuzmina, which I love. Starring in Stan Harrington's film Lost Angels. I'm sure you'll see more of her in the new Woody Allen film, which is called
Fading Giigolo.
For more information, check us out at delwestononfilm.com. For less information, go to delwestononfilm.com. Thank you. And that's how we roll.